As if Xiao Lu doesn't have enough hatred for the nobility after the hunt, this episode sees her falling farther into a quagmire of hatred as these men threaten the family she's refound. On the upside, this episode sees a tiny interaction between Yuan Yu and Xiao Lu. Oh, and did you know the actor who plays Iqiyi is the male lead in the drama The Eternal Love? Ji Xiang and Xiao Ba are taking care of the ill Xiao Lu while she dreams of the incident that happened before she was taken to the hunting grounds. A man is in pursuit of her carriage which is wrecked. With her skills, she and he could easily rule the world. If Chu Qiao should turn him down, he will be forced to kill her. The man is Yuan Hao. I don't know which branch of the Yuan family he is from. He greatly underestimates his own prowess and Chu Qiao kills him before falling from the cliff. She falls into the cold water and wakes up shivering greeted by her two sisters. They wrap Xiao Lu's hands around a medicinal burner when Song comes in. She says the two girls stole the burner from Steward Zhu. Xiao Ba is quick to refute this, earning Song's wrath. She takes out her whip to beat Xiao Ba and Ji Xiang quickly steps between the two to protect her seventh sister. Xiao Lu has had enough. She takes the bracelet off her wrist and it transforms into a slingshot. She uses it to shoot a pebble at Song's leg. The woman quickly leaves after that and Xiao Lu sinks back to the ground. Ji Xiang warns Xiao Lu not to do a thing like that again. A lot of people in the Yuan household know Gongfu and thus Xiao Lu cannot trick them all. The two sisters beg their sixth sister to not be a rebel anymore. The lives of slaves are cheap and they are easily killed over the smallest matters. The worthless nobles have gathered to play pitch pot, they use their hands to throw arrows into urns. Yuan Song misses, earning him laughter and he says there is no need to laugh as it would be something new if he actually made it. He goes to mention it would be more amazing if Yuan Huai misses when the other man nonchalantly throws the arrow from the far back table and makes it. Yuan Huai then insinuates he is nothing compared to the skills of the Prince of Yanbei. Yen Sun is not stupid. He laughs and picks up an arrow and twirling it in his hand. Like Yuan Huai, he pitches the arrow from the back table only to narrowly miss. While Yen Sun may have fooled the others, Yuan Huai knows it is but a pretense and mutters under his breath. Enter Chun'er. The princess successfully tosses the arrow into the pot herself. She berates both Yuan Huai and her brother. One thing you see often in this series is how she and Yuan Song bicker. She always treats Yen Sun better than her blood brother and puts Yen Sun first. Later in the series when Yuan Song does the same thing for Xiao Lu / Chu Qiao she doesn't like it at all. Double standards. Of course, a lot happens between the two women and two men, so there are reasons. Chun'er has brought the wine which is the only urn brewed personally by Yen Sun's father. She will save it for Yen Sun's birthday party which she will host. Yen Sun is quick to say that Yuan Yu will be hosting his party this year. This vexes Chun'er. What fun party can that Iceman create? Yen Sun doesn't know, that is what makes it interesting. I won't go into too much detail. Chun'er is straightforward and very harsh towards her brother and his friends. She particularly loves to belittle Yuan Huai for his low birth. The servants are busy preparing Yuan Yu's manor for the party when Madame Song bursts in and instructs that it is time Xiao Lu starts working. Ji Xiang pleads for more recovery time for her little sister, but is denied. Xiao Lu is then sent outside to work. Enter Steward Zhu. As he is acting a bit lecherously toward her eldest sister, Xiao Lu steps inside and asks for Ji Xiang's help. Later, Xiao Lu is working on a weapon to take care of the man in case he touches Ji Xiang again. Her eldest sister forbids such actions. They are together now and one wrong move from Xiao Lu can upset the scales even more. Ji Xiang reveals that Lin Shi is doing his best to ensure their comfort and safety. Time for our icy young master to make an appearance. Yuan Yu is in his room when a secret message comes in. He takes it and brings it to his grandfather. It is news of Yuan Huai's doings. Looks like this cousin will not stop until the third branch of the Yuan family is dead. Yuan Huai's family has more of the emperor's trust right now since Yuan Yu has an illness and his grandfather is paralyzed. Even though the third branch controls the eyes of God, it is worthless without the emperor's trust. It is Yuan Yu's duty to revive this and restore the family's honor. Yan Sun's party is underway and Xiao Lu is tasked with acting as Princess Chun's private stepping stool. Oh, the ways they come up with to demean their slaves. Everything is going well until Xiao Lu overhears Yuan Huai talking about poisoning someone. Who will he poison? Ji Xiang comes in to serve wine as the host of the party makes his late entrance. At this time, Zhu stops Ji Xiang and tells her to serve Yuan Yu well since he seldom does social functions. Watching, Xiao Lu sees steward Zhu slip poison into the wine her elder sister carries. Not good. Yuan Yu is instructed to drink as punishment for his late arrival. He lifts the cup Ji Xiang pours, but knows there is something amiss. He refuses since he is ill. Yuan Huai proposes a game. If Yuan Yu does not drink, they will kill the beauty that serves him wine. Xiao Lu has had enough. How dare these prettily dressed nobles make a game of her sister's life? Xiao Lu uses her slingshot to spill the wine. Yuan Yu mentally scolds her for the unnecessary action. Xiao Lu then asks them to not make a game of her sister's life. Yan Sun worries over this wild kitten. Yuan Huai says according to Yuan rules, Xiao Lu's life is forfeit. Yan Sun interrupts. It is his birthday. Let there not be bloodshed. Time for a new game. His jade has a front and back. He will toss the jade in the air and Xiao Lu must guess which side lands face up. He rubs his fingers on the jade and Xiao Lu uses that as a signal to tell which is which. The jade is tossed and she shocks everyone by guessing correctly. Yuan Huai is miffed. Fine. She won't die, but she will be punished. Her punishment? Being hung upside down from a tree. Lin Shi pleads for his sister and Yuan Yu and Yu Qi release her. Yuan Yu scolds her for rushing into things without leaving a way out for herself. He walks away and is greeted by an angry Zhu. Of course, Steward Zhu cannot do anything since Yuan Yu was the one to free the slave. Yue tells Zhu to relay to Yuan Huai that if he has a problem then come seek him out. Lin Shi then piggybacks his sister out of there. Madame Song comes into the woodshed. Yuan Huai wants this interfering girl dead. They will send her to Ji Lo Pavilion. When Song leaves, Ji Xiang panics. They can't let sixth sister go there to die. What can they do? Lin Shi promises to come up with something to spare Xiao Lu. A maid from the Yuan Yu household meets with Steward Zhu. She is a spy planted by Yuan Huai. She tells them that Yue has received word on Yuan Huai's dealings. Zhu hands over a box of number sticks. Since they are having problems killing Yuan Yu, they will focus on his grandfather. He hands the maid a special pair of gloves made from human skin and warns her that the box is poisonous. He then says to use the Jing family as they are worried about their sixth sister. Jin Zhu seeks out Lin Shi and asks after his problems. He doesn't want to tell her and bring her into the matter. However, Jin Zhu persists and then says she may have a way to help him and his sisters. Lin Shi visits Xiao Lu. She dreams of Chu Qiao again. She asks her brother of her origins. He only knows that she was brought to their house by their father who said she was the child of a mistress. Lin Shi tells her that her dreams are meaningless. She does tell him of the poisoning plot. He wonders how she knows about such things. But Xiao Lu doesn't know. To help him win favor, Jin Zhu gives him the poison box. Old Master loves playing with number sticks. This is a special set. If this goes well, Lin Shi will save his sister and Jin Zhu will become Yuan Yu's lover. She even hands over the special pass that allows a servant outside so Xiao Lu can escape. Of course Xiao Lu doesn't want to leave, but is coaxed by her sisters. Xiao Lu understands that her presence can cause harm to her family. She hands over her slingshot to Ji Jiang for protection. On her way out, Xiao Lu learns her brother was set up and rushes back to the manor, but it is too late. Lin Shi was called in, and when the old man opened the box, a deadly spider bit him. Yuan Yu gets there and even Lin Shi has been bitten. Yuan Yu kills Lin Shi before Xiao Lu's eyes. Yep. The girl has good reason to hate him and Yuan Huai. Blame it on the time we live in where human lives are regarded as trash. This is the philosophy of the eldest sister of the Jing family. If you have not status, your life if cheap, expendable, and the most you can do is endure and survive. Needless to say, this goes against everything Xiao Lu stands for. Even if she cannot remember her past and Toto, she is a woman of action who refuses to be bullied. Xiao Ba is also more of this Spitfire mindset, and the two are constantly told to lie low to ensure the safety of themselves and their family. Knowing her brother is in trouble, Xiao Lu arrives on scene in time to witness Yuan Yu killing him and throwing him into the fire. When she goes to rush to the fire, Yuan Yu surreptitiously kicks a stone at her leg, causing her fall. She loses the pass here, which Iqiyi finds. Yuan Yu denounces Lin Shi as a spy and that his death can in no way make up for his complicity in killing Yuan Yu's beloved grandfather. Xiao Lu insists on her brother's innocence. He was a good man who was not at the manor long enough to be embroiled in any plots against the members of second household. She does confess that her brother did get the pass for her. There is a severe punishment for this, but she escapes with a sword slash to her arm. Why? A poisonous spider had crawled its way onto her arm unnoticed except by Yuan Yu, and he strikes before it can poison her. 2. This marks the second time he saved her life. He also gives her a lesson: she has no power in an age where people look up to and revere those with power. She is just a poor person meant to be trod on by the powerful. Xiao Lu vows that if she lives on, she will become a person with power, and Yuan Yu warns her against her bold words as they will only bring her shame. Xiao Lu manages to go back to her eldest sister and let her know of their fifth brother's death. Ji Xiang takes her younger sister in and once more tends to her wounds. Xiao Ba is livid. Another sibling lost. She puts all the blame on Xiao Lu. A black cat, an unlucky star. Ever since she entered their lives, bad things have happened. They lost their parents and now their siblings. Ji Xiang is livid. Xiao Lu is a precious sister of theirs, and it is not her fault their lives are trash. They are born low and have no power. They can only endure and pray not to attract attention and lose their lives. The thing I don't like, especially since Xiao Lu does her best to protect her sisters, is that Xiao Ba and Xiao Qi often think of throwing Xiao Lu away, but yet they cannot survive without her. Steward Zhu reports to Yuan Huai that the old man has died and their real spy, Jin Zhu, remains undetected in Yuan Yu's manor. Huai asks if Zhu saw the body with his own eyes. Steward Zhu hems and haws, but admits he did not. This makes Yuan Huai livid. He will need to see for himself that the old man has really perished as they planned. So, Yuan Huai marches to Yuan Yu's household and arrives as they are about to seal the coffin. Huai demands to see his uncle's body, to which Yuan Yu refuses. Huai should know better than anyone just who his grandfather liked and disliked. Yuan Huai insinuates that the ungrateful Yuan Yu killed his grandfather to gain the eyes of God's spy network. The two then start a huge fight as Yuan Huai tries to force his way in to open the coffin to investigate the real cause of his uncle's death. Enter the noble consort Shu, who is displeased at this fighting as she was a good friend of Yuan Yu's grandfather. Huai whines that his cousin is suspicious in not letting Huai see the old man's corpse. Yuan Yu explains to the consort that he has burned all of his grandfather's personal effects and was going to seal the coffin to prevent the leak of the rare Western poison that killed his grandfather. Consort Shu tells you that this is indeed right and that she will examine the body herself. She goes to the coffin and Yuan Yu carefully opens it while she masks her face. She confirms his grandfather's death. We must not forget that she insinuates Yuan Huai in Yuan Yu's grandfather's death, as it is known that Huai's family regularly does trade with the West on the Silk Road. This is fact. To make matters worse for the annoying Huai, Shu forbids him from entering Yuan Yu's manor unless expressly invited by Yuan Yu. Later, when Shu and Yu are alone, he thanks her again for her help. She is worried about Yuan Yu. He has a decision to make. Should he take on the mantle of his household and reactivate the eyes of God? If not, he should know that the emperor does have others who could take charge of this. Yuan Yu keeps his cold expression. His whole thing is flying under the radar. For whatever reason, he must always downplay his power and intelligence. Of course, he is living in a political and personal minefield, isn't he? This is also why Yen Sun does his best to keep a low profile and not attract negative attention from the emperor. Yuan Huai reports to his own grandfather of their success in killing Yuan Yu's grandfather. Now that Yuan Yu is on his own without his grandfather's backing, it should be easier to kill him and retain the eyes of God, but there is the snag of being kicked out of Yuan Yu's manor. Of course, Jin Zhu is still there. Huai's grandfather laughs as he recalls how Jin Zhu turned down Huai's advances as she was saving her virginity for Yuan Yu. A nice verbal slap in the fact to Huai. So, Ji Xiang is another sacrificial lamb to the lust and power of the Yuan family. Yuan Huai's grandfather is a man who is crazy and takes pleasure in killing maids. Ji Xiang almost managed to escape with her life, but she is killed by Huai's grandfather in the end. Xiao Lu wakes to her younger sisters crying and learns that Ji Xiang was taken to Jinlu Pavilion, and the three go out in the rain to find her. There they see guards and a cartload of dead maids. Her sisters see her dead body and are hit with grief once more. They go to the pile of corpses and collect their sisters. They bury her and create a mound as well as a funeral plaque for Lin Shi and Ji Xiang. Xiao Lu has made up her mind as she pays her last respects to her fifth brother and eldest sister. She will not do as Ji Xiang insisted and lay low in hopes of things going their way. No, Xiao Lu will fight for herself and the remainder of her family. At this time, Huai is upset with Steward Zhu over the leaking of their family's trading information, which throws suspicion on them for Yuan Zhu's death. Zhu throws Madame Song under the proverbial bus, and Zhu relishes in kicking her out of the Yuan household. You get to see in this rain scene that Yuan Huai is tormented by his own existence. He despises his lecherous grandfather, his low birth, and his inability to be included with his other friends in the top 5 of the young nobles. Do I feel sorry for him? The actor playing Yuan Huai, Wang Yanlin, does a great job. And you know Huai is as sick and twisted as he is because of how he was treated and raised, but you just can't feel sorry for the cruel arse that he has become. In order to win merits, she follows one of the Jing siblings as they get paper money to burn for their recently deceased siblings. It is forbidden to do this, and Song stupidly believes if she turns the Jing siblings into Huai, she will be spared. Xiao Ba talks back, as does Xiao Lu, and a fight ensues. So, Ji Xiang is another sacrificial lamb to the lust and power of the Yuan family. Yuan Huai's grandfather is a man who is crazy and takes pleasure in killing maids. Ji Xiang almost managed to escape with her life, but she is killed by Huai's grandfather in the end. Xiao Lu wakes to her younger sisters crying and learns that Ji Xiang was taken to Jinlu Pavilion, and the three go out in the rain to find her. There they see guards and a cartload of dead maids. Her sisters see her dead body and are hit with grief once more. They go to the pile of corpses and collect their sisters. They bury her and create a mound as well as a funeral plaque for Lin Shi and Ji Xiang. Xiao Lu has made up her mind as she pays her last respects to her fifth brother and eldest sister. She will not do as Ji Xiang insisted and lay low in hopes of things going their way. No, Xiao Lu will fight for herself and the remainder of her family. At this time, Huai is upset with Steward Zhu over the leaking of their family's trading information, which throws suspicion on them for Yuan Zhu's death. Zhu throws Madame Song under the proverbial bus and Zhu relishes in kicking her out of the Yuan household. You get to see in this rain scene that Yuan Huai is tormented by his own existence. He despises his lecherous grandfather, his low birth, and his inability to be included with his other friends in the top 5 of the young nobles. Do I feel sorry for him? The actor playing Yuan Huai, Wang Yanlin, does a great job. And you know Huai is as sick and twisted as he is because of how he was treated and raised, but you just can't feel sorry for the cruel arse that he has become. In order to win merits, she follows one of the Jing siblings as they get paper money to burn for their recently deceased siblings. It is forbidden to do this, and Song stupidly believes if she turns the Jing siblings into Huai, she will be spared. Xiao Ba talks back as does Xiao Lu and a fight ensues. Madame Song chases the siblings onto a bridge and nearly sends Xiao Ba and Xiao Lu over. Instead, it is Madame Song who falls. Xiao Lu and Xiao Ba try to save her, but Song grips Xiao Lu's injury and she slips and falls, taking Xiao Ba's bracelet with her. Xiao Ba is horrified. They have killed a person. Xiao Lu, much like Yuan Yu, is as cold as ever. No one saw them, so they will be fine. If the truth should ever come out someday, Xiao Lu will take full responsibility for Madame Song's death in hopes to spare her beloved siblings. Xiao Lu must now walk a fine line. She desires freedom and justice for her family, but she must also guarantee the survival of her remaining siblings. Can these 3 remain intact? Doubtful. And we all know that besides catching Yuan Yu's eye and Yen Sun's, Xiao Lu has also caught Yuan Yu's eye and will be drawn into the bloody political battle raging not only among the Yuan family, but also between the different states.